Behaviorism in education. First of all, behaviorism is a theory of learning which states that all behaviors are learned through interaction with the environment through a process called conditioning. Hence, for the adherents of behaviorism, behavior is simply a response to a particular stimulus. For this reason, behaviorism is only concerned with observable stimulus-response behaviors, as they can be studied in a systematic and observable manner. The basic assumption in behaviorism is that all behavior is learned from the environment. This explains why behaviorism emphasizes the role of environmental factors in influencing behavior, to the near exclusion of innate or inherited factors. This amounts essentially to a focus on learning. Hence, for the behaviorists, we learn new behavior through classical or operant conditioning, collectively known as learning theory. With this, the behaviorists came up with the conclusion that when born, our mind is tabula rasa, that is, the mind is like a blank slate the moment we are born. Behaviorism learning theory. In the classroom, the behavioral learning theory is key in understanding how to motivate and help students. Information is transferred from teachers to learners from a response to the right stimulus. It is important to note that in behavioral learning theory, students are considered passive participants in learning, where teachers are giving them the information as an element of stimulus response. Teachers use behaviorism to show students how they should react and respond to certain stimuli. This needs to be done in a repetitive way, to regularly remind students what behavior a teacher is looking for. It must be noted that positive reinforcement is key in the behavioral learning theory. Without positive reinforcement, students will quickly abandon their responses because they don't appear to be working. For example, if students are supposed to get a sticker every time they get an A on a test, and then teachers stop giving that positive reinforcement, then it is likely that less students may get A's on their tests, because the behavior isn't connected to a reward for them. It must also be noted that repetition and positive reinforcement go hand in hand with the behavioral learning theory. Teachers often work to strike the right balance of repeating the situation and having the positive reinforcement come to show students why they should continue that behavior. Motivation also plays an important role in behavioral learning, and positive and negative reinforcements can be motivators for students. For example, a student who receives praise for a good test score is much more likely to learn the answers effectively than a student who receives no praise for a good test score. The student who receives no praise is experiencing negative reinforcement. Their brain tells them that though they got a good grade, it didn't really matter, so the material of the test becomes unimportant to them. Conversely, students who receive positive reinforcement see a direct correlation to continuing excellence, completely based on the response to a positive stimulus. Behaviorist teaching strategies. Teachers can implement behavioral learning strategy techniques in their classroom in many ways, including: first, drills. Here, teachers may practice skills using drill patterns to help students see the repetition and reinforcement that behavioral learning theory uses. Second, question and answer. Teachers can use a question as a stimulus and answer as a response, gradually getting harder with questions to help students. Third, guided practice. Teachers can be directly involved in helping students go through problems to give them the reinforcement and behavior demonstration they want them to follow. Fourth, regular review. Reviews are important to behavioral learning theory. Going back over material and giving positive reinforcement will help students retain information much better. And fifth, positive reinforcement. Behaviorist classrooms utilize positive reinforcement regularly. This can be in the form of verbal reinforcement and praise, reward systems, added privileges, and more.